I just realized that I haven't done a single review, regular, trash or treasure, or even a double review of games from one of the most iconic consoles ever, the Atari 2600. Now, since I am sticking with the Halloween theme, I feel like it's only natural that I take a look at two of the most infamous horror themed games released on the console. So, welcome to my double review of Texas Chainsaw Massacre and Halloween.
Enjoy the show.
Hello, everyone, and welcome back to a brand new double review. For tonight, I'll be doing the double review of Texas Chainsaw Massacre and Halloween. Chainsaw Massacre was developed by VSS Incorporated, while Halloween was developed by Micrographics Image, and both were published by Wizard Video. They were released in 1983 for the Atari 2600, making them some of the first video games to be based off of films. Now, much like games nowadays, even back in the early 80s, there were controversies surrounding these games, mostly due to the violent nature of these games. Well, what were they expecting? These are games based off of R-rated horror films. Did parents expect these games to be kid-friendly? Well, if they did, they were probably smoking that good shit most horror film killers would kill the teenagers over. But here's something regarding Halloween's legacy. Now, this game drove Wizard to bankruptcy, pretty much. So, while they were liquidating their merchandise, some copies were shipped and sold without a label. Just a piece of regular tape with Halloween written on it in orange marker just to cut costs. This caused even more retail stores to not want to sell it to the public just from appearance alone. And thus, Halloween as well as Texas Chainsaw became some of the rarest Atari games on the 2600. So, how did I get the footage? Well, that's the beauty of the internet, people. I found ROM files of these games, so for the footage you'll be seeing, it's captured off of RetroArch. Thank Christ for emulation, because... yeah, fuck that. So without further ado, here's the question. Are these games any good, and are they something I would recommend to you? Let's find out, starting with Halloween. Now, since this is a game from before the NES, there's literally zero story here. So that means we could jump right into the gameplay. Now, the gameplay of Halloween has us in control of Laurie Strode. Sorry, I meant the teenage babysitter character. And our goals are the following. Walk around, rescue kids, pick up whatever the hell this thing is. It looks like a big black dildo for all I know. And either run or fight back against Michael Sorry, I meant the unnamed knife-wielding psycho escapee. Was there some kind of copyright issue regarding the usage of the actual character names? I mean, I'm pretty sure Texas Chainsaw Massacre used Leatherface's name, so why not use Michael Myers or Laurie Strode's name in this? Anyways, fighting back against Myers nets you 225 points, while rescuing the kids nets you 675 points. Why those random numbers? I have no idea. You have 3 lives indicated by the jack-o'-lantern seen above. Lose all 3 and it's game over. But if you do let Myers get you, you'll witness what is possibly the first ever head decapitation ever in a video game. Hell, Myers couldn't even kill the kids. I know he doesn't do that in the movies, but good lord, this Myers has some balls. So, that's the gameplay, and overall, it's incredibly simplistic. Then again, this is a game on a console where the controller is this. So, I wasn't expecting anything incredibly innovative. Visually, it does have that Atari 2600 charm, so I can't be too harsh, but what's with the weird coloring for the floors and walls? In terms of the character sprites, they're alright, I guess. My only complaint is that the babysitter, who I'm assuming is Laurie Strode, is actually taller than Michael, and if we count that red blob of a skirt, she's wider than him too, so overall, visually, it may not seem appealing nowadays, but it does have that Atari charm to it. OST only consists of 2 tracks, the regular song and the Halloween theme itself in all its Atari glory. So wait a minute, Wizard couldn't get the rights to use Laurie's and Myers' names, but they were allowed to use the Halloween theme? I mean, it makes sense since having a Halloween game without the theme is like having a new Nightmare on Elm Street film without Freddy. But anyways, while it is cool to hear the Halloween theme in all its Atari glory, after a while it'll be piercing your brain like god damn! This is why I generally listen to videos or music while I'm getting gameplay footage for these videos. So, I say it's now time to recap. Gameplay is your basic high score based video game. Visually, it has its charm, and while the Halloween theme is cool to listen to, it'll just piss you off after a while. So here are my closing thoughts. Overall, Halloween on the Atari 2600 really isn't that bad of a game. Sure, it's incredibly simple, but you do need to keep in mind the era we're dealing with here. The only downside I could think of is the annoying Atari rendition of the Halloween theme. So, overall, I give Halloween on Atari my score of a 5 out of 10. But now let's switch gears to the Texas Chainsaw Massacre! Alright, so the gameplay is quite different compared to Halloween. Most notable is that you can actually play as the killer, in this case being Leatherface. It's another high score based game which doesn't really bother me. Now with each victim you kill you get 1,000 points, and I believe at around 5,000 or 10,000 you get extra fuel. Run out of fuel, you lose a life. One major problem I have with this game is that you can be stuck on anything. Wheelchairs, fences, bull skulls, etc. You get stuck. But other than that, the gameplay is quite fine actually. Now, as for how it looks visually, it's also not that bad. The only major gripe I have is that I wish they made the chainsaw a different color other than the same color as Leatherface's body. It just makes it look like he has a giant jagged cock. Now, I would go over the soundtrack, but there is none. All that you hear are the footsteps of the chainsaw and that annoying ear-stabbing scream from the victims. Now, let's recap. The gameplay is okay, visually it's and the sounds range from slightly annoying to ear-stabbing. Now here are my closing thoughts about this. Overall, out of the two games I'm covering for tonight, Chainsaw Massacre is actually better out of the two games. From a scoring system with numbers that aren't random like Halloween, to the fact that you actually play as the killer, Chainsaw Massacre on the Atari 2600 is actually pretty good. Now overall, Texas Chainsaw Massacre gets my score of a 6 out of 10. But now I want to know from you all, did you play either Halloween or Texas Chainsaw Massacre? What did you think of them? And are they something you would recommend to a friend? Leave your answers and more down in the comments. Give this video a like if you enjoyed it, and while you're here, consider subscribing and turn on the bell to be notified whenever I make a new video. As always, my social media links are down below. I've been Horror Kid, and I will see you all in the next video. Take care, everybody.